Hi, God bless y'all. This is a new video that I want to make on a question that I made a couple of weeks ago, months ago, and once I was studying based on this verse, I really wanted to share it with each and one of y'all, as my motto is for this channel. Together we're growing as a community, spiritually, socially, and this is a journey. So coming with the question, why isn't Joseph one of the 12 tribes of Israel, but Ephraim and Manasseh are? So studying more in depth, we shall get started. Okay, technically Joseph is part of the 12 tribes of Israel, but his two sons represent him. You're like, wait, hold up, this is making no sense. Explain it to me. What do you mean that he is, but it isn't, because his two sons represent him? So firstly, I want to read off the sons of Jacob slash Israel. So let's go with me come with me, join me for this first passage I'm gonna read. It's in Genesis 35:22-26. Okay, it says Genesis 35 verse 22-26. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah and his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the 12 sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan Aram. So starting off with this, how would I say, like genealogy, the small genealogy, it explains what were the names of the 12 sons of Jacob slash Israel. So we have in this passage that Joseph is here. But why am I making this question? What is going on? Why is there differences in a more later passage that Joseph isn't part of the 12 tribes of Israel? So I'm going to start off saying, when I mean tribes of Israel, we have the sons of Israel and the territorial tribes that were in the nation of Israel. So that's 2 points: the sons and the territorial names and descendants. So why is there like this separation? Why is like this division, or why is this replacement coming? So let me read firstly Genesis 48:5. Genesis 48:5 says, "And now thy two sons Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee in Egypt, are mine, as Reuben and Simon, they shall be mine." These are the words of Jacob as he's talking to Joseph, like, hey, since you're my favorite son, you're like the firstborn of my favorite wife, you and your sons are going to be blessed differently from the rest of the sons. But as we know that God places and does things differently, sometimes we don't explicitly have him as having words coming out of his mouth that, hey, that when God made this prophecy, when God made this change, is something different. So in this passage, in this context, it's talking about Jacob's last days that he has as father of Joseph, that Israel may die. So So Joseph is here witnessing that his father, as he's blessing his children, Joseph's children, Ephraim and Manasseh, he does something different, distinct from what this culture was used to. So normally you would fully bless the first son, the firstborn, and give the second one, the last one, a different blessing. So whenever this was occurring, as Jacob was like, okay, I'm gonna pray for your sons, bring them forward, I'm gonna bless them, Joseph brings them to him, and he's explaining the placement, saying left and right. But this is his two sons, but this is what Jacob does. Joseph expects a blessing like this, but Joseph crosses his hands differently and blesses them in a different way that we're not used to, especially seeing it in a biblical sense, in a biblical view. So Joseph got mad. He's like, what are you doing? Like, Father, why are you doing this? But as Jacob knows, God's guiding him. It's not that he was going to do it all by himself. No, whenever God wants to do something, he doesn't explicitly say words that this is why, or this is the reason why I'm doing this. No, when God wants to do something, he will allow things to occur. So that's the prophecy part. So every time there's a prophecy, there's always supposed to be like a finish, like we see the result. Where is that result? So let's read in the book of Joshua, chapter 16:4. Okay, Joshua 16:4. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh and Ephraim, took their inheritance. In chapter 16, it explains the inheritance of the tribes of Manasseh and Ephraim. So the two sons of Joseph, there is like, it says it directly, inheritance in a land. This is where Joshua and Caleb both, how would I say, like, conquer the land of Canaan to create or build or extend this nation of Israel. So this is where inheritance comes from. It means land. They were physically given a land, a territory. But okay, so if we put those two tribes to what the normal 12 tribes are, so that would make no sense. That would be 14, 13. It's weird. Why is this going on? So firstly, to make 12, specifically God promised that there will be 12 total tribes. Let's read Genesis 48. It's actually Genesis 49:28. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spoke unto them and blessed them, everyone according to his blessing, and he blessed them. So I'll go verse by verse, starting with chapter 49 in Genesis. Verse 3, it mentions Reuben. Verse 5, Simeon and Simon and Levi. 7, verse 8, Judah. Verse 13, Zebulun. Verse 14, Issachar. 16, Dan. 19, Gad. 20, Asher. 21, Naphtali. 22, Joseph. 27, Benjamin. And 28 says all of these 12 tribes of Israel are the tribes of Israel. Okay, many would think, hey, God is making a mistake. God isn't faithful in his words. Why is God lying? No, God is not lying. Specifically, he means here like a promise. Like the original 12 is the 12, right? We have the 12. But when I mean in like the sons, it's true, is correct. Tribes means group of people. It is true. If we put the term tribes as group of people, God is faithfully, truthfully saying these words. Now, if we put it territorial, yes, that means the tribe of Levi is out and Joseph is being replaced by his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. So, as we see, God is making these changes. So, by removing Levi, the territorial space, no territorial inheritance, so that would leave space for the other two. Actually, Deuteronomy 18, 1-8, excuse me there. Deuteronomy 18, it says, the priests, the Levites, and all of the tribe of Levi shall not have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire in his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he has said unto them. So here God blesses them with something different. Their inheritance isn't territorial, if not spiritual. So God doesn't like make less of the tribe of Levi, but instead he has different plans with that tribe, and instead replaces with the two sons of Joseph. So as we're witnessing all these changes in like the shifts in like the tribes and the names of the 12 tribes, that may leave us confused, but after all that I've explained here, God specifically does things according how he wants to. Sometimes we don't understand. Each and every individual tribe, or each and every individual son of Jacob, had a different purpose. They each had a different blessing, different from each other. And it's not like God like despised some of them, or like made lesser of some, or like made higher of others, but in his eternal like knowledge, supreme knowledge, he understands. He knows how he places things around. Although we are so used to having like a strict like code of rules, and with those code of rules, like nothing out of it makes like would be wrong. No, God does, however he desires, and he understands and knows in his eternal knowledge. So with this, leaving with this whole like study, we have to really just obey, listen to however God wants to speak to us, and he wants us to obey, even though we may not understand. But later, God knows his reasons and why. So every now and then we may have questions, but it all comes together if we are really doing God's will, and God will take care of the rest. So thank you for listening, and this is why isn't Joseph one of the 12 tribes of Israel, but Ephraim and Manasseh are. So thank you for listening. I hope you took notes, because it really helps for you to look around what's going on and take note of, like, if you're watching this, I've also put up some, how would I say, some images so it can help you visually too. It helps a lot. Thank you for listening, and God bless.